Good morning, good morning, good morning. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. How are you, folks? On my way to work again, and we are almost about to hit our favorite section, which is the on ramp. Beautiful part about my drive, the part that is always the most upsetting because we can see how shitty people drive and how people do not give way in consideration for others. It is bright as I don't know what out here, and that is because the East Coast is experiencing we're reaching the fall equinox where we will also set back the clocks, and also the sun you can see is much lower in the earlier part of the day instead of the summer months where the sun would be a little bit more higher and out of my direct line of sight, my camera sight. I'm going to talk today, folks, about something people do wrong when they're trying to become social media content creators. I am no authority on social media content creating. I have made the journey as a businessman and eventually became a content creator by way of my popularity, my message, a good subscriber base, and a good base community of people who bought products and services from me. I have not just sold land, I have mentored people, I've written a book, I've done a litany of things that would qualify me to be a person that could give advice or insight about when people are trying to create social media content, what they should and should not do. Now, you might say, the hell with you, Phil. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'll say, okay, that's fine. Everybody's got opinions. But again, success leaves clues. It does. But we're going to stop for a minute in segment as we hit the on ramp. I'm going to straighten out this camera a little bit so you'll have a better view to see exactly what I have to deal with time and time again. Here we go with the on ramp. We got a little speedster here on the right, gets in front of Davis, doesn't maintain increased speeds, but still goes at a slower rate of speed, causing me to slow down on the on ramp. Let's take a look at our section over here, cars speeding up, and actually, we got way more than enough room to get over. So because the people have not merged over and my lane is clear, I'm going to get ahead first to allow people to get ahead of me over in the on ramp, and then I'm going to increase my speed to get past people and clear out this lane. That is great because today we don't have that many people on the on ramp. So if you haven't noticed, yeah, the biceps are on fleek because I've been definitely grinding and working out. So you might also notice that the face is a tad bit trimmer, and that's because I've been practicing my diet and losing a little weight and lifting weights at the same time. Any which way. Back to the social media component. One big mistake that people do not understand about social media is that when you get on the train, you never get off. There is no, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a day off. I'm going to take a week off. I don't want to. Whenever I hear that from people, I know that they're not really into doing it. It's like a person who's applying for a full-time job but asking for a vacation up front before they even get hired. I love those people, crack me up, and they tend to really not ever stay in those kind of jobs or stay in those jobs for a long time. Oh, it's a really nice truck behind me. Oh, that's right behind me is one of those Cadillac Escalades, but it looks like a really fancy one. It's like it's ready for the zombie apocalypse here. Let me see if I can get that in view. Yeah, this one right behind me here. Any which way. And they're not ready for the commitment, the time commitment with social media that is required. I make about 3 videos a day, should be ramping up to 4 sometime soon. And to make 4 videos a day, let me see if this guy, do you need to get over? Go ahead. Go, 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 go. Shit. To make 4 videos a day, one, you need good content and things to talk about. I'll admit, at first, when you get on social media, you're going to feel that you're kind of rambling, you're babbling, and the hardest thing you will come across or come upon is trying to get your message out and be coherent in your thoughts. Much like I'm driving now, this is not a prepared speech, but I'm able to, you know, communicate thoughtfully in a coherent manner. I'm able to keep my thoughts together while I'm driving and doing something else. That's because I practice, and I've talked about this before. I practice enough to make this second nature with me. And that has come through working and preparation and practicing and crafting your trade. In order to be a social media content creator, you really have to work on crafting your trade, which means that you have to craft your message. If you do not do that, you will run and babble on. You will not get to the point. You will not be able to give good points like I'm doing now. So you need to make sure, again, that you're communicating. Sometimes things are a little bit long winded, but sometimes you want to make sure that if you're going to speak long, you're saying something. The next thing, and like I said, the time commitment, however popular you want to be, you have to understand as you become more popular, the demand for your content. You can't just make one video a day for 2 minutes and think that that's going to do and that's going to get you millions of views. Shannon Sharp and other people, what you're seeing are segmented videos of a longer video, thus creating more content for people to view and stay on their channel. The goal of a social media content creator is to keep people on your channel looking through your content, everything that you have from shorts, reels, your long form videos, your short form videos, your community section. You need to have your live streams if you're going live. You have to understand that social media content creation is you have to be able to keep the viewer, the subscriber on your channel for as long as you can. It's like going to Walmart. Walmart wants you to buy everything in their store. They don't want you to have to go to Target to go get something else that they don't have. The more that they do not have things in their store, the more you're going to get out of that store and go look for somewhere else that has it. Now, if they are a store that has all the things that you need, there's a good chance that when you shop there for one thing, you'll go and get another thing that they have there. I experienced that yesterday when I was looking for a sauna suit. I see my man Avon. He's got a sauna suit and a hoodie, and he looks great. Avon, you look like $1 million, bud. Mr. 185. And I was looking for a sauna suit at Five Below. Now, Five Below's got a lot of stuff in there, but it did not have the sauna suit. So I said, man, that's crazy. Now, I went to Walmart the previous day, and I did not get the sauna suit. I wasn't thinking about it. But again, I would have stopped at Walmart and got eggs that my wife wanted, and I would have gotten a sauna suit at the same time instead of going to Five Below, and they would have missed the purchases that they would have gotten from me yesterday, which I did buy a few things. So again, you got to make sure that you can keep your subscribers on your channel for as long as you can. And it's not just by them watching one or two videos. You want them to be able to experience different forms of your content in different ways. The other major thing that social media content creators or aspiring content creators do not understand is that trends will get you killed. When I say this, if you're just following trends, you will be buried in the long list of fields of people who are doing trends that can do a trend better than you do. The one thing I love about trends is that they're here and they're gone. So you always have to stay up on the next trend. You always have to find the next trend instead of finding your message and your talking points. Now, you want to be a trendy person? Hey, that's your prerogative. Do your thing, player. I ain't mad at you. But one of the things you have to understand is that when you follow trends, you're going to have to always keep up on trends, and you won't be able to pivot to something else. I've got to put this visor over here because the sun is just going to beam in my eyes and I'll look like I'm an angel, even though I'm not an angel. Never claimed to be one. Any which way, that's something that you have to understand is that you have to craft your message and be able to keep the viewer engaged in what you're saying. How do you do that? Well, you got to talk about things that matter to people. A trend belongs on a reel. Something funny, people tend to do things, funny things and mimicking, that's fine. But it doesn't really allow you to grow as a social media content creator. It doesn't allow you to push into the upper echelons of content creating. Mr. Beast can develop trends because he will be considered a trendsetter, not a trend, a trend person following trends, a trend follower. He's setting trends. He could always create a trend and people would follow it because they're, again, followers, his followers. But again, you can't become a follower because then you be one of Mr. Beast's many. Same thing with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp does interviews and talking points, but again, he brings people on that have a message to give or interviews and things like that. So you have to really make sure that your content is geared towards an audience that wants to listen and follow it every single day. A lot of times you have to understand that when you're creating content, you have to take time in preparation. You have to take time to figure out what are you good at. And one of the ways that you can figure that out is by looking at what people gravitate towards you in your daily conversation. What do people like hearing you say or talk to you about? Now, again, that depends on your mindset, who you are, your social network group. But if people listen to what you have to say when you're talking about situations or issues or go to you from wisdoms, then you should look at a mindset, channel. If you're a person that's good, like I have a cousin, Booch the barber. If you're a person that's good at cutting hair, then maybe you should do hair tutorials on different components of hair care, hair maintenance. If you're a person that is in the religious sector, like my cousin Alexis Land, shout out to all of y'all, then you should maybe look at, talking about things from a spirituality and maybe being from a motherhood standpoint. There's many angles that you can come from social media, content creation, but a lot of times people go out there and they become what they like, not who they are. And that's the next part, becoming what you like. A lot of people out there, like, about red pill content and, black pill content, blue pill content. A lot of people like red pill content and might be, they might have liked Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. You might follow Coach Greg Adams, and that's great. But that's Coach Greg Adams, his content, his message. And a lot of people try to take that and adopt that, copy it, if you will, which it is a form of flattery, but it's not their central message. Coach Greg Adams can live that life because he's about that life, and he does it fucking well. But that doesn't mean that you can replicate it just because you think he's right and you want to adopt his message. That's not my message. And I follow Coach Greg Adams because I really like what he's talking about, because one, he's a father, he's a black father. He's got interracial kids just like me. I've got interracial kids too. And again, he talks about what he's doing, preparing his children for the world that he's living in, that they're going to encounter. And he does it in a way that's funny, introspective, and it's educational and enlightening at the same time. But again, for me to take that as a married man, I'd only be copying it and trying to produce it, but I can't live it. I'd be trying to reproduce his message, which is replicating it or duplicating it, but it's not authentic to my lifestyle. People would look at my lifestyle and say that, hey, he's not walking what he's talking, he's just talking it. And that's what people like, authenticity, which is my next point. You gotta be authentic. You can't be a person that's into fake it till you make it content. You've gotta be a person that is looking at being true to your audience, because again, do you want followers that just come on your page, click and like and share, or don't share at all? You want to have people who are really moved and motivated by your content. You want to have people who are inspired by your content or like your style of comedy, because again, you can build opportunities for further success off your content if it's authentic in nature. Like, you see me being a nurse, driving to work, talking about things that I do with my children, things that I'm living, and it's lived experience. I'm not up here telling you what to do, and I'm doing something the exact opposite. So people want to see themselves in you as a content creator. If they can't do that, they're going to have a hard time latching on to your message. One of the things Coach Greg Adams does very well, and this is not a Coach Greg Adams salute video, but again, I'm going to give flowers where flowers are due. And a lot of others, Shannon Sharp even does this too as well, is they stay to their base. They make sure that they are in line with the content that they're making. So people can't question whether or not Coach Greg Adams drives a Porsche. He shows you he's driving a Porsche. Shannon Sharp brings the people that he knows in his network. That's his actual net worth. He brings Ocho Cinco, he brings Cat Williams, and a host of other celebrities right in front of you, so that way you can hear that he's got these authentic connections. Now, he might pay for them. That's fine, but he's still able to pay to get Cat Williams in front of him, in front of his audience, to bring them an experience like no other. The third thing people do is that they overinvest too early. They take too much time investing in equipment and they don't invest in their message. I was in a mindset group just last night, and a guy was so interested in all the materials, and I'm saying materials in the form of equipment, that he wanted to buy to get up to the level of someone who's been doing this for years. And instead of crafting your message and taking the time to get your content together, people always tend to overspend. They buy all this equipment up front. They do the same in businesses. They buy all of this stuff, instead of working on their central message. I started out as a land guy selling properties, and eventually it became that, hey, I needed to evolve my message beyond selling properties. So what did I do? I crafted the mindset component to talk about having the mindset to be a landowner. Then that became a mindset to be able to build wealth, a wealthy landowner, and then it was building a business, employing your family, and growing a family in a wealth mindset. Because again, my family's involved in a lot of things of what I do. A lot of my social media content creation centers around my lifestyle of going to work as a nurse, coming home, being a father, making social media content creation, and showing people that land ownership is so much more than just a piece of dirt. And that also came into me being an author. So again, you've got to look at this multi-pronged approach. Those are just a few high-tip things that you cannot do. You can't go spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, buy a studio, and you got to take time to build your success. And again, you should only build within the confines of your capital. Don't go get into debt, buying all this stuff. Rent it. There are tons of places that will allow you to rent equipment to allow you to do social media content creation. Look to your music stores, American Music Supply Store, American Music. There are tons of places where you can get good recording equipment that you would use for instruments, that you might be able to get a good microphone. Start small, grow big, then buy with the capital you generate. If you're not generating capital, you shouldn't go out there and invest heavy amounts of money getting yourself into debt just to have a good, just so you can have a roadcaster, just so you can have a good backdrop. Man, a lot of videos I make are me just walking in my neighborhood with my own phone, like I'm recording on now, and a good microphone. So if I were to make one investment, and I got this thanks to Coach Greg Adams for saying this, and again, I would invest in my audio before I invest in my video. Because again, people would love to hear good sound over hearing, a video that's choppy. I mean, if you watch the old school movie, it's not 1080p. So any which way, folks, those are some things that I think if you're starting off as a content creator, you really want to center and hone in on, and make sure that you use these tips to get yourself ahead in life. And it may not work for you. You might say that's old trash. So again, I want to take a time out to acknowledge the people that, again, in my video that I think have contributed to some of my growth, that have given me good information. And again, I hope the information I'm giving you is very helpful. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, AncestryLands.com. I'm going to take time out to promote my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, folks. Make sure you get it. Make sure you read it. Make sure you buy one for your family members, all right? Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, AncestryLands.com. I hope you've been educated, enlightened, and entertained. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.